with all the media coverage of the Republican convention and the Democratic convention, I think one is more than likely completely overlooked. There was another virtual convention about a week ago, and I watched quite a bit of it, but it's the Movement for the People's Party. Now, it had me curious because one of the people that was invited as a speaker was Jesse Ventura, and I thought, well, okay, I'll hear what he has to say. But, I don't know why they just don't call it Socialist Party, be honest about it, because that's what it is. But it is the disenfranchised, Vernie voters, because they never really worked with the Democrats, you know. So really, they're kind of forming their own party. But every time, they come to the convention, and then in the end, of course, Bernie's going to bail on them. He drags them in there, and then whoop, no, support Biden. Well, these people didn't want to support Biden. So they want to start their own third party. Well, there's already several other parties, so they aren't really the third, but they think they're really going to, they want to make a big splash. So we'll see. But I can't see it working. They're trying to draw all these different people together. There's a lot of conflicts between them, and it's right away. It's like that what do you want, when do you want it kind of thing. They want everything, and they want it now. Guaranteed basic income, forgive all student loans, free education, free housing, free. So they ain't gonna fly. People gotta learn. You gotta kind of work up to stuff like that. You can't demand everything right now. If you want to make change, you've got to make it incrementally. But these people, there's no incremental involved in this. It's unfortunate because I'd like to see an independent party, and part of their platform right away, they want to get big corporations out of politics. Great. Get the military-industrial complex out of politics. Great. Get rid of all this war machine that we've had going. Way back when Eisenhower, when he left, and he said, you got to watch that military-industrial complex. That was what he had to say was, watch them. Well, we didn't watch them. They found out that, war is a money-making opportunity. So, by God, they will keep wars going. They'll make one. If we can't find one, we'll make one. So, there's good parts to their platform, but right away when you start with everybody gets everything kind of thing, it just can't be done. So they're going to end up being just another radical splinter group of what's happening is, so you've got the Republicans on the right, you got the Democrats on the left. They kept shifting to the left, trying to include these radicals. They shifted so far left that they really can't come back. And you've got like that big mouth Puerto Rican and all them in there. So now they're going to split, these people, party, are going to split off and go even further left from that. Well, that's going to decimate the Democratic Party, which is fine. As far as I'm concerned, good riddance. But there's no way that the Democrats could ever go back to being a halfway reasonable party again, so I don't know. But I thought, it's funny because now they don't get any coverage because all of these news media and stuff, they are so much in the bag for the Democrats that, they'll cover some of the Republican stuff, but it's only to kind of slam the Republican stuff. They'll lie about the Democratic stuff, but these wild-ass Bernie people off to the side, they're just going to ignore them. And they're trying to get like the Green Party, another fringe group, they're trying to kind of organize them in there too, but I doubt if they'll want to get involved in this. Because the Bernie people were pretty fanatic, kind of. Like I say, they want everything now. They don't want to work up to something. They got to have it. They demand it. And right away said, well, we got to form a militant wing. Well, we got enough militants in this country. We don't need another bunch. But it's like the Democratic Party, as it is like circus people. It is the weirdest bunch you're ever going to meet in one place. And then this other bunch break off, and it's like the freak show of the circus has set up its own camp off to the side. So, because they're really far out, but there's no way they have nothing in common with each other except that they all want everything. They've got some nice thoughts there. Like I say, the ending the war and getting business out of politics, but they're just going about it the wrong way. It's sad to see because, like I say, they're just going to come off as being loonies, and from what I can see, basically kind of was. They're starting out that way, and they're only going to get worse. Because even when they had that Green Party candidate in the debates one year, I mean, yeah, she had points. You can make points. And that's what you got to do. You got to keep making points until you get someplace. But just making demands, that don't really work. So I don't know. Like I say, it's gonna tear the guts out of the Democratic Party, which is a good thing, because they went so far left that there's no coming back. But like now, these people are going to try to make their own new Green Deal. Everybody with their Green Deal. But the list of demands, because when they had a convention, it was just speeches, this and that, and everybody. And some of the people, I mean, you look at it and think, oh, that ain't gonna work. But then today I saw a thing where they listed their policies, kind of. It was a short video, because I subscribed to it because they have a channel on YouTube. I kind of want to know what they're up to. So I'll kind of keep an eye on it. But, like I say, that's where demanding this, demanding that, everything is free, and, so we're going to tax the wealthy, and the wealthy will leave. If you got any sense, you get out, something like that happens. The good thing is they aren't going to get any traction, but they are going to tear the Democratic Party apart, which is good too. We got enough trouble with them as they are. I don't really, like I say, I'm not really Republican. I'm not this flag-waving, patriotic sort of crap, If anything, I would be leaning toward a libertarian. My theory is just leave me alone, I'll leave you alone kind of deal. But these people are going to go just wild the other way. But it's unfortunate that they don't, if somebody's going to make what they consider to be a major third-party deal, and they'd really like to run a candidate this year, but they really can't. They'll never be able to choose a candidate, because like I say, even in this whole thing, the only time I heard Bernie's name come up is people who were delegates to Bernie's campaign, but when Bernie tossed them aside again, which he does all the time, every time, they got a little miffed. So it ain't like they're trying to run Bernie. Though if he'd have been smart, he should have been running on his own, not trying to get in with the Democrats. That isn't going to work. They're going to go with a more conventional candidate, the nice guy, Biden, even if he's, like I say, a puppet. But they don't want to go middle of the road. They want to just go hog wild on that. But it'll be interesting to see what shakes down. But you should kind of make a point. It annoys me what the media doesn't cover. Our media is horrible. Our news media is such a poor excuse. It's unbelievable, really. These people will lie to you, just straight out lie to you. They will make stuff up. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people get their news from that, from them. They'll watch the mainstream news, and if that's what you do, you are lost. There is no hope for you, because they're never going to be honest with you. It's a shame. I think back to, there was a time when journalism was an honest profession. It is not anymore. It's nothing but opinion. It isn't really facts. It's all opinion, But we'll see what happens with this organization. It'll be interesting to see. We got to get through this mess now, if we survive to that, because I still have my doubts. Every time you mention the possibility of a civil war, and people, oh, that can't happen. Oh, it can easily happen. I don't know how it cannot happen. You tell me an easy way out of this, because I can't see one. It's going to be impossible. You've got Hillary and that same old crowd back there pushing, always pushing. They got nothing to lose, so they're going to make it as absolute much of a mess as they can. They keep dragging all these old politicians out of the woodwork that I thought were long gone, that have no relevance anymore, but now they want to get involved and become relevant. Well, so I don't, like I say, I don't see how you can get out of this without all hell breaking loose. Whenever I hear about these asteroids heading for the Earth, I'm thinking, by God, if one would just wipe out Washington. Problem is, they're never there. It wouldn't do any good. You'd get a bunch of cleaning people. You wouldn't get the actual culprits in the deal. And I was just reading the other day about the San Andreas Fault, kind of, I'm thinking, if we could give her a little push, maybe blow up some bombs and maybe get California off in the ocean. But it's not a big enough, it's just a little thin sliver. We can't get enough of it. So maybe we got to hope for the asteroid yet. And then they threaten, them, Oregon and Washington. The problem is, there are good people in these states, but they have let the government, the bad people, into government. So they're screwed unless they move out. But when they're threatening, they're going to secede from the Union, well, good riddance. I mean, that's, most people, if you could get rid of them in one fell swoop, put up a wall, be done with them. And New York, that's a mess, but there, we gave part of Oklahoma back to the Indians. I think give Manhattan back to the Indians, that'll cool things down. But there again, there's a whole bunch of this in this new party where, the Indians get everything back and they're squawking reparations for every black person. It's just an endless, everybody wants money. It's a sad situation, but it's just unworkable. But it's nice to see, that at least if they got the guts to get out of the Democratic Party which has done them absolutely no good and but nothing but aggravation, go off on their own. But they call it the Movement for the People's Party, and you should just call it the Socialist Party because that's all it is, and you might as well be honest about it because that's what people end up calling you anyway. Well, we'll see what happens. The good thing is none of this really affects me. I'm so isolated from that nonsense. But I do hate to see, I'm not the super patriot, like I say, but I hate to see something that used to work just being trashed, for no good reason. But that's what they're doing, just trashing it. And it's really more of a vanity than anything else, like Hillary still got a grudge about that last time, and by God, if she can mess this up, this time she will. That'll give her a certain amount of satisfaction. But even there was, what the hell was that one? That one, God, I can't remember her name now. I hadn't heard her for a long time. That curly-haired, kind of a sheepy-looking one that was involved with Hillary. I think she's down in Florida or something now. Evidently, she's still in Congress. God, I can't remember her name. I think she had like 3 names, one of these, but she was just a bitch on wheels, and I thought they got rid of her. She was pulling all kinds of shaky stuff. But even that down in Brazil, when you're sneaking the questions to Hillary and the first, you'd think she'd be out of politics. Nope, they got her on Fox as a commentator, on Fox of all places. And she's just a useless case. But, a lot of the people, you gotta just get them out, And I keep hoping a house will fall on that wicked witch of the West. She is useless too. That's a pack. They need new blood in there. They really got to get rid of them old ones. But you don't have to bring in people like that loudmouth Puerto Rican and her cronies. There's got to be people who are willing to do the job, just do the job, not make a career out of this. It was never intended to be a career, but they make it a career. And it's always funny because these people, you get this job that really isn't that big of a paying job, but they all come out of there with millions and billions of dollars in the end. They're always, they don't make that much, but somehow money just falls in their lap. But it would be nice. I'd like to see, even all these lobbyists, that's where a lot of this shady stuff comes in. Get them the hell out of there. You got to be listening to the people who you're supposed to be representing, not some corporation someplace. But that's all it is. But anyway, thought I'd let you know, there's another party. You will have another choice. I don't think you want this choice, and I don't think this choice is going anywhere. But I'm sure, if they'll make enough squawk, they'll maybe get in debates, and maybe they'll have something to say that's worth listening to, but that everything for nothing, that ain't gonna work. That's a hell of a mess it is. Well, it ain't my mess. So good luck with that.